In the heart of Denver's bustling nightlife, a 19-year-old Kenya Manye ventured to a bar with her friends. After consuming excessive alcohol, she left her belongings on the table and excused herself to the restroom, but she never returned. Surveillance footage captured Kenya leaving the bar alone. As the night unfolds, her fate turns terrifying, leaving everyone searching for answers in this tragic tale of deceit and darkness. This is the case of Kenya Manye, a vibrant 19-year-old girl who went missing in April 2011.
Welcome back to True Crime Files.
We send our love and respect to everyone who knew and loved Kenya Manye. Kenya was born on January 26, 1992 in Honduras. Her mom, Maria, was just 15 at the time. She was facing the daunting challenges of young motherhood, but Maria's determination for her future was very high, and she made a brave decision to leave Kenya with her grandmother and move to the US. Leaving Kenya with her grandmother was heart-wrenching, but Maria knew it was for the best. In the US, Maria met Tony Lee, and they built a beautiful family together, including 2 children of their own, Kim and Anthony. In 2004, Kenya made her way to the States, joining her mom in a land of new beginnings. She spoke little English at first, but her determination allowed her to adapt quickly. Her new family also embraced her with open arms, and Tony became her loving dad. Kenya and her half-sister Kim became inseparable best friends. Their bond was heartwarming, and life felt perfect for Kenya. Coming from Honduras, where opportunities were scarce, Kenya cherished every moment in the United States. She excelled at Cherry Creek High School and later pursued her passion for broadcasting at a local Denver college. Life was blooming for Kenya as she moved into her own apartment with her boyfriend, Louis Easton. But Kenya wasn't just intelligent. She had a heart of gold. Her warm and caring nature made her a magnet for friends, and everyone who knew her could see that this bright young woman was destined for success. But little did anyone know that her path would soon take a tragic turn, leaving her family and friends in shock and disbelief. Like every teenager, Kenya and her friends wanted to experience the nightlife in downtown Denver, but they weren't of legal drinking age, so they used fake IDs to sneak into bars and clubs. Kenya's parents, Tony and Maria, had no idea about this, as they always thought their daughter was responsible and law-abiding. But teenagers will be teenagers. On the fateful night of March 31, 2011, Kenya and her friends decided to have some fun and lose for a while, so they went to the 24K lounge. They were excited for a night out together. Kenya enjoyed dancing and drinking with her friends the whole night. As the night went on, Kenya and her friends drank alcohol. Since Kenya was very young, she felt the effects of alcohol faster than the others. She got drunk with just a little bit of drinking. In the early hours of the next morning, she excused herself to the restroom, leaving her belongings with her friends. She asked them to watch over them while she was gone, but as time passed, she didn't return and never returned. After using the restroom, Kenya was stumbling because she had too much to drink. The club bouncer saw this and kicked her out. Sadly, she had left her phone and purse inside on the table. Now she was alone on the sidewalk and couldn't contact her friends to get her belongings back. Back inside, her friends grew worried that she didn't return. They searched the club in the bathroom but found no trace of her. Kenya's friends assumed that she must have left with someone she knew or met at the club. They decided to keep her belongings safe and planned to return them the next day. Little did they know that among those belongings were all of her items, including the keys to her home. Unlike her close friends, this new group didn't have a pact to never leave the club without each other or check in to ensure everyone's safety. It was unusual for Kenya not to inform her friends about her whereabouts, but with this different circle of friends, they didn't feel the urgency to search for her before leaving the club that night. As the hours passed, they had no idea that their seemingly harmless decision would lead to a series of events that would leave them and everyone who knew Kenya shocked and frightened. The next morning, April 1st, Kenya's boyfriend Louis got worried that she didn't return home. No calls or messages from her either. It was unusual, as she always kept him informed about her whereabouts. Something felt off, and he couldn't understand what had happened. Where could she be? A mystery was unfolding, and Louis couldn't shake off the feeling that something was terribly wrong. As the morning sun rose, Louis immediately reached out to Kenya's sister, Kim, asking if she knew anything about her whereabouts. Sadly, Kim had no answers. Louis urged her to talk to their parents and find out if they had any information. Kim wasted no time and called her parents, Tony and Maria, who rushed home from work with deep concern etched on their faces. They left no stone unturned and reached out to everyone they could think of who might know where Kenya was. According to her close group of friends, She had been with her other friends the night before, but this only added to the mystery as they had not seen her at all. In the afternoon, Kenya's friends, who had been with her the previous night, rushed to the Monia Lee home. With worried hearts, Tony, Maria, and Kim bombarded them with questions. Kenya's friends confessed to using fake IDs to enter the nightclub. They also revealed that they saw her for the last time just after midnight. To everyone's surprise and worry, Kenya's friends brought her purse to the Monia Lee home, saying she had left it on a table at the nightclub. Inside, they found her phone, keys, and wallet. This revelation hit Kenya's family like a ton of bricks because she never went anywhere without her phone. They knew in their hearts that something was terribly wrong. Tony was very worried, but he didn't lose hope. He searched Kenya's phone tirelessly, hoping to find even a single clue about her whereabouts. And then, he stumbled upon a mysterious text message from an unknown number. "Hey, this is Travis, the guy who gave you a ride last night. White creepy van? Did you get home okay?" Tony's heart raced with anticipation. Could this be the breakthrough that they needed to find Kenya? He dialed the number repeatedly, desperate for answers, but no one answered. He and Maria decided to file a missing persons report after feeling frustrated and worried. The officer on the line was very unsympathetic. He told them to wait for 72 hours before filing a report, but Tony refused to give up. Tony kept trying to get in touch with Travis. Finally, on Saturday, a call came from Travis. He reported to Tony that he spotted Kenya talking to a homeless man while intoxicated outside the club. Travis was concerned for her safety, so he offered her a ride to her car parked elsewhere. As they could not find Kenya's car at the club, Travis offered her a ride home. She shared her address, and he claimed to know the area well. But suddenly, Kenya wanted cigarettes. So they stopped at a closed gas station where she met a man named Dan. Kenya and Dan chatted in Spanish and walked away together, and that's when Travis lost sight of her. Tony found Travis's story strange and hard to believe. Nevertheless, he thanked Travis for sharing the information. Then, Tony contacted the police and shared the unsettling information he had learned from Travis. He urged them to file a missing persons report, but they refused, saying it hadn't been long enough. Tony was frustrated by their response. He called Travis again, questioning him intensely. Travis proposed a meeting at the Kanako gas station where Kenya was last seen. Determined to find answers, Tony agreed. He wanted to get to the bottom of the situation and couldn't wait any longer. Tony hung up the phone and grabbed his 9mm handgun. Maria was worried and asked where he was going. Tony said he had to meet with Travis at the gas station since the police weren't helping. Maria was scared. She didn't like the idea. She pleaded with him not to go, fearing he might do something rash, but Tony had no choice and left without another word. Maria, deeply concerned for her husband's safety, called the police and informed them about Tony's destination and the fact that he was carrying a legal firearm since Colorado is an open carry state, and the police agreed to send an officer to ensure things stayed under control. When Tony arrived at the gas station, the officer was already there, along with Travis and his friend. Travis repeated the same story he told Tony earlier, that he was with Kenya in his van, who later walked away with a man named Dan after asking for a cigarette. Tony found Travis seemingly trustworthy, but something felt off about the story. Kenya wouldn't just wander off like that. The police officer shared the same suspicion and asked Tony for some privacy to question Travis further. As the officer delved into the conversation, Tony walked closer to Travis's van. A potent bleach smell overwhelmed him, leaving him puzzled. He alerted the officer about the strange odor, and they both investigated the van. The van emitted a strong chemical smell they couldn't ignore, and they noticed a new carpet inside, which raised further suspicion. The police officer requested Travis to inspect the van, and he agreed. When they opened the back, it looked pristine with fresh carpeting. Yet, the front was a mess with food wrappers and garbage. The officer found this suspicious, but had no reason to hold him. As they were about to leave, Travis approached Tony, apologizing and saying he wished he had followed through on something. Tony thanked him and extended his hand to shake, but when he did, Travis's hand trembled violently. At that moment, Tony had a gut feeling that Travis was the last person to see Kenya alive. Finally, after 72 hours had passed, the investigation into Kenya's disappearance began on Monday, April 4th. When police investigated 31-year-old Travis, they discovered troubling details about his past. At 17, he faced charges for breaking into 16 homes and businesses, stealing over $15,000 worth of goods. They found vandalized women's underwear inside his room with the letter M on them. Travis was convicted of felony burglary and was meant to serve 9 years in prison, but fate twisted as he ended up in a military camp and was soon expelled to face probation. In 1998, Criminal harassment charges arose while he remained on probation. In 1999, violating probation with a knife proved his dangerous streak, leading to community corrections. These revelations raised red flags, making Travis a person of interest in Kenya's disappearance. Travis's dark past unfolded with more alarming details. In 2004, he was charged with assault for throwing rocks at women jogging, which led to a jail sentence. Later, he admitted to being a drug addict and stealing the mural from dentist's office, which earned him a 3-year prison term for burglary. At the time Kenya vanished, he was on probation for domestic violence. Detectives note how his criminal history escalated from minor offenses to violent crimes. Travis's ex-girlfriends claimed that he had changed during sexual role-playing and began to take pride in hurting other people. The stolen underwear of women and his resentful action towards females also raised concern. Furthermore, breaking curfew 43 times showed a lack of remorse. The recklessness and violent tendencies of Travis painted a chilling picture, leaving investigators to unravel the sinister truth behind Kenya's disappearance. After Kenya's disappearance, her family and friends tirelessly searched for her, distributing missing persons flyers everywhere and putting up posters throughout the community. The shock of her vanishing gripped the entire community.
When I sleep, I'm praying. I get on my knees every day. God, please, bring Kenya home, please.
We kept just putting flyers everywhere. We had to do it, she's our friend.
On April 5th, Monica Poole, the owner of Debbie's Bakery and Cafe, provided detectives with surveillance footage of Travis Forbes from April 1st. He told the police that Travis rented a space there to make his gluten-free granola bars called Forbies. The next day, Travis was brought to the Denver police station for an interview, where he repeated the same story from the gas station meeting. He claimed that he was with his girlfriend, Carrie Humphrey, and left for work on April 1st. However, detectives dug deeper and discovered his phone records didn't match his alibi, and he wasn't near his girlfriend's home. At this, detectives sensed the gravity of the situation and were losing hope of finding Kenya alive. On April 8th, Lieutenant Matthew Murray of Denver Police expressed grave concern, stating, "We get lots of missing cases. No one thinks the girl ran away. We have reason to believe that what took place is not good. We are very concerned." Monica Poole, the owner of Debbie's Bakery, eagerly shared crucial information with detectives. On April 2nd, when she arrived at the store, she was shocked to discover that the security cameras were turned off, and upon reviewing the footage, she saw Travis alone in the bakery around 7:30 p.m. on April 1st. He was wearing long latex gloves. According to Monica, Travis wasn't supposed to be at the bakery on April 1st. Detectives watched the footage before the cameras were disabled. Travis was seen bringing a trolley into the walk-in freezer while it was wrapped up with duct tape. He entered the room with a carpet roll and subsequently came out with a bottle of bleach. He then turned off the cameras. Nearby Debbie's Bakery, detectives spoke with other business owners. According to one eyewitness, behind the bakery, 2 males were burning a 55-gallon barrel and a white van was parked nearby. Another owner observed Travis cleaning a huge white cooler inside his van the following day. When Monica confronted Travis about the burning, he claimed it was because of moldy marijuana. He also said he had switched off the cameras to get dressed. Monica knew he lied frequently. She also noticed a gash on his arm, which she said came from a homeless man attacking him while he slept in the van. As suspicions grew, Travis vanished from the state about a month after Kenya's disappearance. Monica Poole, the bakery owner, recalled his odd behavior, including offering oats at an incredibly low price and muttering about leaving the country. He expressed resentment, claiming Kenya ruined his life. Soon after, he drove off for Austin, Texas, leaving everyone perplexed and concerned about the information he was carrying. Detectives relentlessly scrutinized every aspect of Travis's story, but his sudden disappearance raised more doubts. They questioned his girlfriend, Carrie, who confirmed his alibi that Travis was with her, but phone records contradicted their claim. Instead of being with Carrie, Travis was actually in Keensburg, 40 miles away. Police searched Keensburg 15 times for many months, utilizing foot, horseback, and aircraft. Hoping to find Kenya alive, they also searched for any signs of human remains. But despite their exhaustive efforts, nothing emerged from the searches. However, the mystery grew more complex, and everyone was tormented by the uncertainty surrounding Kenya's fate. Travis was detained on May 4th in Austin, Texas, on allegations of car theft. Detectives flew over to question him for 3 hours while showing him clips from the surveillance footage. Travis provided an excuse for everything, claiming that the marijuana in the barrel was moldy. He also mocked detectives with a question of why he wasn't arrested. He declined to comment on his relationship with Kenya and demanded a lawyer. Detectives later used a search warrant to get a DNA sample. He was ordered to return to Colorado on June 30th, but his friend withdrew the auto theft accusations, which resulted in his freedom. Travis returned to Fort Collins, and Denver detectives kept an eye on him. They followed him to bars and nightclubs and even witnessed a drunken encounter with the Fort Collins police. Informing the local police about Travis's suspicions, the Denver detectives hoped for cooperation. However, after the first night's incident, Travis appeared to calm down, leaving no reasons for continuous surveillance, and detectives ended the surveillance after 3 nights. On July 4th, Travis Forbes stalked the streets of downtown Fort Collins, seeking for his next victim. Lydia Tillman, a sommelier from Longmont, Colorado, had recently moved back to the area and was enjoying the fireworks display alone. She was unaware of the predator lurking behind her. After the fireworks ended, Lydia walked home, unknowingly being followed by Travis. Once she reached her apartment, he violently attacked her, forcing her inside her apartment. He assaulted her and strangled her by using his power to his advantage. He also threw a barrage of punches at her, breaking her jaw and severely injuring her brain. Lydia put up a struggle, but his aggression defeated her. Travis doused her lifeless body in bleach and set the flat on fire as a part of his evil plan. But as the flames consumed the room, something within Lydia refused to surrender. She gathered all of her power and jumped out of the second-story window to escape the oncoming fire. As firefighters, police, and an ambulance arrived, they found a courageous survivor among the ashes. Lydia was rushed to the hospital, but her agony was not done yet. When police asked her about her attacker, she could only utter a heartbreaking no. Tragically, she had a stroke immediately after getting to the hospital, which put her in a coma for 5 agonizing weeks. As the flames overtook the apartment, crucial forensic evidence seemed lost, but a tiny glimmer of hope remained. Investigators managed to extract microscopic DNA from under Lydia's nails, which was a potential key to the elusive attacker. Examining both cases, detectives saw chilling parallels and suspected that the culprit responsible for Kenya's disappearance might have attacked Lydia. Putting the puzzle pieces together, the detective became certain that Travis Forbes was the culprit. Tension gripped the investigators in the aftermath of Lydia's attack. Their suspect, Travis Forbes, was within their grasp, and they closely monitored his every move. They knew that they needed to take quick action before tragedy struck once more as he wandered the streets, leering at females. Then, on the night of July 10th, Travis engaged in suspicious interactions with different women. When the officers approached him, he quickly made a false identification and pretended to be Travis Kennedy. They had to let him go, putting the safety of the city at risk. But Travis couldn't resist the urge to strike again. After changing his appearance, he followed another vulnerable woman, and the officers knew they had to act fast. At 3 a.m., they arrested him for providing false information, though they withheld the suspicions about Lydia's attack. It was only a misdemeanor charge, and Travis could easily post bond, but the forensic team worked relentlessly, analyzing DNA found under Lydia's nails. This crucial evidence was compared to the sample taken when he was arrested for car theft in Austin. The match was chillingly undeniable. On July 11th, just before posting bond, Travis' situation changed. The investigators had their evidence, and at midnight on July 12th, they rebooked him on the horrifying charges of attempted murder, sexual assault, and arson. The pace quickened as detectives rushed to build a solid case against Travis for Kenya's disappearance. On August 26, they visited him in jail, prepared for a tough interrogation. However, Travis surprised them with a shocking offer. "I'll tell you everything, but I want a deal," he uttered. In exchange for his cooperation, he pleaded not to be labeled a sex offender and begged prosecutors not to pursue the death penalty. Travis revealed the chilling events of that early morning in April, leaving the detectives stunned by the depth of his darkness. Travis revealed a chilling tale of that haunting night. He told the detectives that when he saw Kenya standing beside the 24K club, he pretended to be willing to assist her, and his friend joined in and started looking for a cab for her. But fate had other plans. In the van, Kenya's world turned into a nightmare. As she drifted into unconsciousness, Travis's sinister intentions surfaced. He attacked to rape her, but she got up at that moment and fought back fiercely. At this, in a horrifying moment of darkness, he silenced her forever. In a cold-blooded act, he sealed her lifeless body in a cooler and concealed it in the bakery's freezer. Calculating his next move, he settled on Keensburg, where he dug a shallow grave under a canopy of cottonwood trees near Interstate 76. After the horrifying act, Travis sanitized his van and destroyed all traces of Kenya's presence. On September 7th, accompanied by detectives and his attorney, he led them to Keensburg. There, they uncovered a 4-foot-deep grave where Kenya lay wrapped in plastic in a heartbreaking fetal position. On September 26, 2011, during his advisement hearing, Travis shocked the court by pleading guilty to the first-degree murder of Kenya Monye. This early plea was highly unusual, as most defendants don't admit guilt at this stage. As a result, he was given a life sentence without the chance of parole for the murder of Kenya. Travis also confessed to the attempted murder of Lydia Tillman, which prompted Judge French to sentence Travis to 48 years in prison, which will be served concurrently with his life sentence for killing Kenya. This ensured that Travis would spend the rest of his life behind bars for his heinous crimes. In memory of Kenya Monye, the Kenya Monye Foundation was established with a noble purpose: to empower and support women, children, and families in Colorado. Their mission is to offer essential resources, education, and financial aid, enabling safe, healthy, and productive engagement within the community. Furthermore, the foundation extends a caring hand to the families of victims of violent crimes and missing persons, providing them with emotional, physical, and financial assistance to navigate the aftermath of such tragic events. On September 16, 2011, a poignant memorial service occurred at Aurora's Glory to Glory Christian Center. The service drew hundreds of individuals who came together to honor Kenya's profound impact on countless lives during her too brief time on this earth. During the service, Kim, with heartfelt emotions, delivered an incredibly moving tribute to her beloved big sister Kenya. With tears in her eyes and a quivering voice, she painted a vivid picture of their cherished memories together and said, "I'm not saying goodbye, I'm saying see you later. I'll see you when God calls me home with you. I don't quite understand why you had to leave us all so soon, but God always has a purpose. I'm not going to look at this as a loss. I'm going to look at this as a gain. I've gained a guardian angel, and one that I know I can trust. Rest in paradise, big sister. See you when it's my time. I love you, and you are always and definitely are missed." If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel because that makes this video possible, and here is another one you might enjoy.